Right, it's all about Let's Talk Showbiz, and today my guest on the show is Mame Adwoa Adom. The other names I'm sure she'll add to it. But prior to this, she's also a presenter. Yeah, she used to host a show on Varsat One back then, My Home. Right now she's so busy, but I'm sure we'll get to talk more on that show as well. But for now, we have a movie which will be premiered pretty soon, and it's all about cervical cancer. I'm sure we've all heard about cervical cancer, but how well are you informed about it, and how well are you doing your regular checkups to be sure that as a woman you are okay and there's nothing of the sort in you? So today Mame Adwoa is here to tell us about the movie and of course the way forward, especially for women in society. Welcome to Let's Talk Showbiz.
Thank you.
Hey, Mame Adwoa, it's like you know, sometimes they say that people go and live outside and when they come back they look all fresh. That's how you're looking right now.
We thank God. Yeah. You're looking good yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I like the way you take the compliment.
Oh, thank you. Mame Adwoa, tell me, first of all, for us, a lot of people watching, cervical cancer, what is it all about?
Okay, cervical cancer, it's basically, I'll say a cancer that bothers a lot of women. But unfortunately, most women die out of it without even knowing that's what kills them. And it's because when we spoke to the doctors and we did our own research, we realized that the symptoms are just like the regular things that women see monthly. I mean, when, you know, exactly, when you're ovulating, you have an extended abdomen. Some people, they have pains, they cramp. Others, they don't cramp. You have some discharge, which prior to your menses is normal. But these are exactly the same symptoms as cervical cancer. So you can overlook it, and before you realize, you know, it's exactly.
Wow. So first of all, let me ask, of course, it's all about a movie, but what inspired the movie? Is it an experience? Is it from a relative? Is it something you've seen before?
All right, so it's not necessarily something I have seen before. But when I was putting the script together, when I was writing it, I remember I spoke to my director and I was like, oh, Pascal, I want this film to not just be on faith, but then on cancer. But I'm yet to find out what type of cancer we should use as a theme. So I did a lot of research. I spoke to my doctors, I mean both friends and the personal doctors. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that cervical cancer is one of the cancers that most women are not, you know, they are not, there's no education whatsoever on it. And then what really caught my attention was the fact that every woman that is sexually active is at risk. And it's mostly among black women, you know. So I was like, okay, then I started to, you know, write and then use that as a, yes, exactly. But, you know, when we're filming, I get this question a lot, is it something that I've experienced before? Faith, ailment. I think I've been working with these two for like quite a long. I've seen so many ailments. All right, personally, I've experienced so many ailments. So, it wasn't difficult writing it to make it real, and it wasn't difficult acting it to make it real.
Wow. Well, who? I mean, when you were writing, who were the people you thought of using in the movie? Because, you know, actors are more of glamour. Yeah, we have a few of them who would relate to health issues, but usually there's more on the glamour bed and the love side and all of that. So who came to mind? Who were you thinking when you were writing the script, especially the person who played the role of cervical cancer, or who had that in the movie?
All right, so... Okay, this might get me into trouble, so I'm going to be very tactical in answering this question. Right, so when I was writing the script, I had someone in mind. Because of the weight loss I've been associated with cancer and everything, I wanted someone that's a bit hefty, that can, you know, lose the weight gradually, so that we can see. We wanted to do film, so you can see the difference between when she was, well, and then when the ailment hit her. It's actually a Christian film, but it's not a charity film. The money needs to come back. And then, so we are hoping that all things being equal, after the cinema, we are going to do a church tour. We're going to show it in churches. But one thing that's very important is this Saturday, we're having a health walk. Okay. We are working with doctors, and then the actors and then some other celebrities are joining us to do a walk on cervical cancer. So we'll do a long walk from American House to Accra Mall, and then when we get there, probably we'll come back, and then when we get there, we'll do some aerobics. Let me just leave the rest, I'm sure. So anybody that wants to join us, of course you are coming.
Which is this Saturday?
Wow. You are coming.
This one is not a Bree Mountain, so I'm sure I can walk.
No, it's not a Bree Mountain. It's actually a straight.
I'm not able to climb the Bree Mountain, so I'm fine. This is okay, I'll come.
I've never done that before, though.
Yeah, my body is fine.
Now, after the film, we're going to do a tour in churches, in schools, and countries. And then apart from that, right now we have an organization that reached out to us about the walk. Mm-hmm. It's called Survivor. It's a cervical cancer organization. So we're going to do a few things with them, and then we also have plans of having an organization out of this project.
Wow. And it's going to be a great project, so don't miss out on it. Let's educate ourselves and be women. Let's live long. Me, I like to be like 90 or 100, so I have to check all of that. Now let's come to your show, My Home. What's happening? When is the show coming back? Because I'm not going to say that why have you stopped, because I know you haven't stopped. Yes, maybe you're so busy, but when is the show coming back on the screens?
Well, that's a question I get. Where's my home? Is my home coming? My home is coming back very soon. Pretty soon, actually. Very soon. And then they should look out for something different. We're still going to tackle marriage, relationship, issues. We're going to provide free counseling like we were doing before, but then we are going to change the phase a little because there's so much happening right now. And then they should just cross their fingers, or how do you say it? Cross your hand, cross your finger. Okay. Cross whatever you can cross, and then pray for us. My home is coming back soon, very soon.
All right. So it is coming back soon, and as I said, it's all about education. Let's educate ourselves, especially women. Mami Adwoa has a movie coming up. It's all about cervical cancer, and trust me, you're not going to regret if you go out there to see the movie and also be part of the war. Thank you so much, Mami Adwoa.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk showbiz.
Right, so that was Nana Adwoa. We've been talking to her more on cervical cancer. So if you're a woman out there, you haven't checked for yourself, go see a doctor and do so, because you might never know. You don't know what might happen to you someday, somehow. Now we move straight to another interesting story. The maestro Kojo, one of my favorite in the industry. Yes, my colleague Becky has been hanging out with him, and he talks about his experience at the BETs. Some time back he was nominated, and this has popped up again. He talks about live band performances. He is advising the youth to take it seriously, because the miming, I guess, is just too much.
But how was the experience like for you looking back?
I was nominated.
Yeah.
It was the first time BET decided to do that category. And I think I was there with P Square.
Okay.
I was there with two Nigerians there. I remember the name.
I remember the P Square.
Okay. I was there with P Square, and I've been a lot of great guys. The experience was great. I mean, it was good to see Prince on stage, D-Barge, Puff Daddy, and all of them. It was good to see how they coordinate those each performance for every artist. The main thing was done for television, for the viewers, but we were in the hall and we will be told, okay, we're going on air. They start counting, all seats must be occupied, and all that. That experience was great for me. It confirmed something. They have all the gadgets.
Okay.
We don't. We are limited in terms of gadgets when it comes to performance, but we're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing very good, because with the few gadgets that we have, we're able to produce. I mean, when you go to see shows now, I started that theoretical intros and outros, and I saw Pop Daddy. I love him because he was hands-on. He was not just sitting back. I mean, he was producing his own thing. He was sitting with computer with 4 of his guys. So like, okay, we do this and we do that. And I love that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that experience, I love it. It was good to see DeBarge. I mean, he went through a whole lot of problems. I mean, rehabilitation because of drug problems, and he was stage, and his voice sounded as golden as when, you know.
Yeah.
And then I saw Prince being honored. And these are people that have played their songs, listened to them, walked them from afar.
Can imagine.
You understand what I'm saying? So being in the same auditorium with them was inspiring. That night live, that opportunity for a musician to survive playing gigs is no more there.
Yeah.
The difference now is you have musicians who come out of studio before they become musicians. Then you hear a lot of people saying, oh, we want to make more live, we want to make more live. I started on stage before entering the studio. They enter studio before coming on stage. So they have to be groomed for stage. The moment you have one hit is the time for your manager to tell you, hey, let's have you get you ready for stage. How do you connect in this song? How do you connect with the audience? Even when you have just a track, a single out, it's not time for you to go out there and play. That's my advice.
Sure,
that's my advice. But you need a repertoire. You need a repertoire of about 30 minutes that you can sustain a crowd. Do this one, do the next one, you know. Then, I mean, but
we'll get there.
I hope so.
I think we'll get there. Let's talk showbiz.
Right, so that was Kojo Entry, of course, telling my colleague Becky more on BET and, of course, live performances from artists. Now we move to some international stories, and Paris Jackson, daughter of the late icon Michael Jackson, has been celebrating her dad. So quite recently I think I read something online where apparently Michael Jackson's father is also on his sick bed in the hospital because he is suffering from cancer. Yes, cancer pops up again. So Paris Jackson celebrating her father, Michael Jackson.
Since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine.
We'll never forget Paris Jackson's heartbreaking message at her dad's funeral.
And I just wanted to say I love him so much.
Up until then, Michael had shielded Paris and her brothers from the public with masks.
Michael, how are you?
Yesterday, Paris paid tribute to her father with one word: infinite. Of Michael's 3 kids, Paris has struggled the most with his death, having attempted suicide multiple times. Earlier this month, she said her dad is my one source of strength, the only thing keeping me going, my love, my light, my archangel.
My dad would be proud of us just doing anything that we like to do. It just so happened that my sister has found a passion for her acting and her modeling.
Are you thinking about singing, producing, performing?
I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out.
Prince is carrying on their father's legacy with charity work, and he also has a thing for motorcycles and tattoos, just like his sister.
And then I got one of my dad on there.
What do you see in the future for tattoos? What else?
I have another one that I'm planning to get for my dad.
Paris just tweeted that she feels blessed to have a family that comes together the way the Jacksons do. They've been coping with her grandfather Joe's reported battle with terminal cancer, and when a fan suggested she visit him, Paris replied, "We all have. I flew out this morning to be with him all afternoon and evening."
Let's talk showbiz.
Right, so that was Paris Jackson, of course, celebrating her father, Michael Jackson. It's a wrap for Let's Talk Showbiz, today's edition already. I'm Doreen Avio. Remember to log on to myjoyonline.com for more of our stories. But of course, it's always about Doreen. Let's Talk Showbiz. Enjoy your evening.